CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Friday, October 3rd. A collision in Sudbury this afternoon has closed Martindale Road between Gino and Gregg Streets. Early reports say the collision was between an e-bike and a motor vehicle. 2 people have been taken to hospital and police are on scene. We're following this story and we'll have more for you as information becomes available. Provincial police in the Timmins area are asking for the public's help after a fatal crash on Highway 101 Monday. 2 vehicles collided on the road in Whitney Township in Porcupine around 7:30 a.m. September 29th. A 69-year-old Iroquois Falls man was transported to hospital where he later died. Anyone with information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers. Well, more sunshine and above seasonal temperatures on this Friday. Will those conditions last? For more details, we go to CTV's Rick Wyman. Rick.
Well, Tony, you know the answer to that because we've already talked about it, and we will in the 5-day forecast. We've got that 4-letter word coming up that people don't want to know about. Our systems map, courtesy of CAA. Get your membership today at getcaa.ca. October, a month of change, and with it, sometimes the forecast can change. They can vary from day to day. We'll talk about that. There's a system that is approaching the northeast, and with it, like we've had in Greater Sudbury this morning, some light shower activity, some rain in the forecast, and some sunshine and some warmer temperatures, Tony. So that's all coming up shortly in a few minutes.
Thanks for that, Rick. A water main break in North Bay has shut down Memorial Drive as of 3:30 this afternoon. The street remains closed between Main Street and Judge Avenue for emergency repairs. Sudbury is considering plugging into a $20 million green initiative. A report is heading to council next week recommending the electrification of some of the city's fleet, including Zambonis. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
Sudbury's greenhouse gas emissions could drop by approximately 620 tons over the next decade if, on Tuesday, Council agrees to a report recommending the electrification of some city fleet, including 146 light vehicles and 16 Zambonis. It's a part of the city's effort to reach its climate commitments.
Our city has a community energy and emissions plan, which is the plan for achieving net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. And part of that plan is electrifying the city's fleet by 2035. And this fleet electrification plan does that.
One of the risks of the plan detailed in the report includes the changing political climate in the United States, where incentives for electric vehicle development have been pulled back. However, some in the industry say they aren't concerned and add while sales aren't quite on par with previous years, they are still up overall.
That's all kind of adding to this, uncertainty about where the industry's heading. But if you look at the global picture, the global perspective, I mean, EV is pretty much set as the next method of powertrain, right, for vehicles. Europe is exploding with it, other countries outside North America. So I think it's only just a matter of time.
Longer ranges, better quality, multiple manufacturers, lots of selection available. So I think that, it's a slowdown, but I think it will continue.
The report says the switch to electric could cost $20.1 million over the next 10 years, compared to $16.8 to buy traditional vehicles. However, it says the difference could be made up through various government incentive programs and fuel costs, meaning the electric option could cost less in the long run. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5. Rick has your full weather forecast. Right now, though, let's head to the waterfront in Parry Sound. This live webcam is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 22 degrees. We are back after this commercial break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Hey, the weekend is here and we've got some interesting weather to say the least, over the course of the next couple of days in northeastern Ontario. Forecast radar, some precipitation rolling in, and the forecast from last night, a little bit of a change in terms of some of the conditions that you can expect. But of course, some light rain, the chance of rain 30%, 40%. Nothing serious right now, but let's take a look at some of the numbers and a big surprise coming up on this very date in October. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go. Chance of showers tomorrow at 30%, 25, 26 on Sunday. Looks like Sunday will be a great day across the northeast. Monday, chance of showers 22, 17, and 11 with the sun and cloud Tuesday and Wednesday. No shocking news here, but it's coming. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers 26, 27 Sunday. Beautiful day there. Monday, Tuesday, chance of showers both days, 18, 16, and 11 for Wednesday. More sun and cloud. Take a look at the evening temperature on Tuesday, going down to 1, a harbinger of things to come, as they say. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, chance of showers tomorrow. 26 your high, 29 on Sunday. That'll be a great day. Monday, Tuesday, chance of showers at 30%, 21 and 14. And here we go. The big news of the night, chance of flurries on Wednesday. High of 9, the low going down to -1. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. The snow is coming. Here we go. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of showers for tomorrow 25, 28 Sunday. Monday, chance of showers at 23, 17 and 10. Bit of a cool off here from Tuesday to Wednesday. Sun and cloud both days. A low of 1 on Tuesday, 0 Wednesday. Now North Bay and West Nipissing, chance of showers tomorrow 25, 27 Sunday, sunshine. Monday, here we go, chance of showers 24, 18 on Tuesday, 11 on Wednesday, of course, 1 and -1, the overnight lows. So, Tony, how does that grab you? Some snow in the forecast for Timmins by next Wednesday, 40% chance of flurries. Is it a sign of things to come? You know it's coming eventually. Back to you.
Yes, but just not right now. Plus, it won't stay. Thanks, Rick. The Sudbury Breastfeeding Challenge is returning this Sunday. The Infant Feeding Network, a not-for-profit group run by community breastfeeding advocates, is hosting the event at Fielding Park from 1:30 p.m. to 2:30. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Building on the success of last year's event.
It was the first one that had been done in over 5 years. So we really had low expectations, but we ended up having 35 women come out to support the event. We had 13 women that latched on with their babies, whether that was latching on to the breast or onto the bottle with exclusively pumped milk.
The challenge will precede the annual Sudbury Community Midwives Reunion Picnic this year in hopes of drawing even more participants.
It just seemed to be a nice segue and to alleviate some of the financial burden. So we're hoping that people that don't have midwives feel comfortable coming.
Crowder has worked as a midwife in the community for over 25 years, and she says while influence has changed over the years, it continues to have an impact on women's ability to successfully breastfeed.
The generation that was having babies 25 years ago, their parents were from a very formula, so there was a lot of education to grandparents around like how to support and what's normal. Now we're seeing a lot of like online, how many ounces can you collect and how many pumps do you own and how many so I feel like some of that really feeds into the inadequacy feelings that a lot of new parents have.
The OHIP-funded breastfeeding clinic that opened at the midwife clinic almost 2 years ago has made a huge impact. But Crowder says they only received 50% of the government funding needed, so they only operate 2 to 3 days a week.
What we felt was important was for families to have support that was more convenient for them than, let's say, the health unit hours, and that they didn't have to pay for it, because it should be a right that you have support to help feed your baby.
We need to have more government funded supports. We need to have more supports in the hospital and immediately after birth. We have to do better for our breastfeeding moms in our community.
According to the 2022 Canadian Community Health Survey, 38% of parents exclusively breastfed for at least 6 months. Global targets aim to increase the rate of 6 months breastfeeding exclusively to at least 50% by 2025 and up to 70% by 2030. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Lively.
Ontario Cadets Week coming up on CTV News at 5. We head to Sudbury as officials hope to bring more attention to programs.
For this week's edition of Love Local, we're at the Positive Inception. Positive Inception with good friend of mine, Ryan Benoit, owner of Positive Inception. Ryan, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. There's so many great businesses, and for you guys to be able to choose me, it's like I said, it's an honor and a very, very big privilege.
Absolutely. And you know, you are the face of, I would say, positivity in Sudbury, but why don't you take us back in time? For those who maybe are not familiar with your business, take us back to the beginning stages of the Positive Inception. Where did it all begin?
Yeah, well, it kind of feels like a big blur now because it's been so long. It's been about probably 10 years now. But I started as a university student. I took the sports administration program at Laurentian, and during my third year, summer of second year, third year, I had the idea of creating a clothing line. And I always loved fashion, and I took business in school with this bad program. So I kind of put both together, and I wanted to kind of create something to allow people to be a little more positive and trying to make the world a better place, essentially. And I wanted to create something so when you wear it, it makes you feel good, right? And it's a reminder to be positive and be who you are, and just have that positive attitude no matter what, no matter what you're going through. I think if you're always positive and have that mindset, it's gonna follow you, right? And I wanted to kind of create something to allow people to feel comfortable in their own skin and embrace who they are. And I think it's more than just a clothing line, it's a message.
You're part of so many different campaigns. You started as a kiosk right in the mall.
Yeah.
And here we are now on LaSalle Boulevard, your own store, a lot bigger than a kiosk, right? So quite the journey. And I mentioned campaigns as well because you and Pure Country Radio, we partnered on a campaign called Keep Shining campaign.
Yeah.
That is just an example of the many, many local campaigns that you partner in, and that's so important to you, I know.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the brand. It's a big, I try to have a big charity component and try to give back as much as possible because the Sudbury community has been so amazing, and they embraced me as well as the brand for, like, it made it super, super special. So I think it's always important to kind of give back because the community is giving back to me and partnering up with different organizations like what we did with the food bank and we do with the Alzheimer's Society, Easter Seals. Like we probably have 15, 20 different ones. And I think it's good to give back.
And Ryan, finally, if those who maybe have been unfamiliar with Positive Inception until this very moment, where can people find you? I know you're very active on social media.
Yeah, social media, just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. But we also have an online store, thepositiveinception.com, and we also have a podcast too that I recently started. It's called Keeping It Positive Podcast, and I think we're 26 episodes in, so that's also a fun little side project as well.
That's awesome. Ryan Benoit, owner of the Positive Inception in New Sudbury, just on LaSalle Boulevard. Well, that'll do it for Love Local this week. To see all the videos of where we've been the last few weeks, just head to the CTV News Northern Ontario website. Oh, man.
Thanks for that, Coop. The first week of October is recognized as Ontario Cadets Week. This year, politicians and cadets gathered at Tom Davies Square in Sudbury to kick off the province-wide week. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
In 2022, Bill 45 proclaimed that the 1st to the 7th of October is officially recognized as Ontario Cadets Week.
This year, they decided for all of Ontario to do the grand opening of Cadet Week here in Sudbury, which is pretty cool.
The Sudbury launch began this week with the raising of the flag, which officials hopes brings more attention to the program.
It's an awesome program, and unfortunately, it's very not well known. So that's one of the reasons that I've been really adamant on trying to get the knowledge out there of what the cadet program is.
It's not 1 week, it's 52 weeks of the year that the women and men of the Cadet League and the cadet leagues across our province are working with young people and those volunteers.
Another celebration brought pride to the program, as 50 years ago, girls and women were accepted into cadet programs.
First women, young girls who showed that will and that resilience to participate in a program and initiative that was near and dear to them is especially important, and the impact that has had not only on the cadet program but on communities across Canada, on the Canadian Armed Forces, is astounding.
Tomorrow the cadets will be marching from the Armory at 1 o'clock in celebration of the provincially recognized week. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, she is the highest grossing live music artist on the planet, and Taylor Swift's new album, Life of a Showgirl, came out last night at midnight.
Her name was Kitty, made her money being pretty and witty. They gave her the keys to this city.
Following the album release, Party of a Showgirl is in theaters, where fans get the opportunity to watch the premiere of the Fate of Ophelia music video and behind-the-scenes footage. In Sudbury, some fans ran to the theaters to watch their idol's new movie on the first day.
I'm here to see The Life of a Showgirl in theaters. I'm very excited. I've been a Swiftie for about 2 years now. I went to the Eras tour in Edinburgh, Scotland last June. It was an extremely amazing experience. I loved it so much. And I just love Taylor so much. I think she's such an inspiration, and I love music, and she just brings me joy.
Sudbury fans say that Taylor Swift's music is made for all ages and all walks of life. Hockey this week. When we return, Rick Wyman talks with the commissioner of the NOJHL. You're watching First at 5.
Hockey this week is brought to you by Rastall Nut and Bolt Company. It's the annual tournament for the NOJHL, the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. It's a showcase tournament, and it's on next week. And who better than Commissioner Robert Mazuka to tell us more? Thanks for dropping by.
Have me, Rick.
We've got new faces, loads of new player talent. What are your expectations next week?
I think next week will be 2 days of hard-nosed Northern Ontario junior hockey. It'll be exciting. A lot of scouts, a lot of kids want to showcase their talent to the scouts and the schools. So we're looking forward to putting it on.
And that's a great vehicle for a 2-day tournament. And I guess gauging by the early results after a couple of weeks of league play, there could be some surprises. What kind of play in terms of maybe an upset or two are you expecting?
Well, you never quite know on any given night in the NOJHL. For the last couple of years, the parity is there. This year, nobody, with the exception of maybe Hearst, so far, Sudbury's got a slow start. So you just don't know. And I think everybody steps their game up when they come to the showcase. So it'll be exciting. And the way the schedule works is it's based on your previous, how you did last year. So we got some interesting matchups, and it's going to be some interesting hockey, some good hockey.
Okay, speaking of which, a private school, St. Andrews from Aurora, a prep school, of course, renowned across the country, will be involved this year. So why the inclusion of the school?
Well, as you're aware, we LA Lake Vikings had to take a leave of absence. So when we were doing the scheduling with 11, it doesn't quite work. So we've been talking to St. Andrews, David Manning, for a number of years, trying to work out a couple things, and it was just a unique opportunity that was available for David and for us, and everything fit, and we invited him, and he accepted, and we're looking forward for St. Andrews to come up here and compete.
Okay, they've got a reputation, but just how good is this school up against NOJHL teams?
Well, we don't know. I know they've played junior B teams down in Southern Ontario and defeated them. They're a good team. They're probably one of the top 3 best prep schools in the country on the ice, and academically, they're one of the top best academic schools in the country. So they'll be a formidable challenge. I hope that our teams don't take them too lightly, but it'll be very competitive.
Hey, thanks for dropping by and doing this. As always, a pleasure to find out more about the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. He's Robert Mazuka, the commissioner, well known across many a rink here in the north. That's hockey this week for this week. Back next week with more, and Tessa Bonham will be my special guest. We'll talk about the Professional Women's Hockey League.
Thanks, Rick. And a pair of games last night in the Northern Ontario Junior Hockey League. The Blind River Beavers made quick work of the French River Rapids, beating them in Noelville 5-1. The Sudbury Cubs played host to the Iroquois Falls Storm. Cubs forward Nolan Newton scored a hat-trick. Cubs won 5-1. On deck tonight, there are 4 games in the NOJHL. The Kirkland Lake Gold Miners are in Powassan to face off against the Voodoos. The Timmins Rock are rolling north to take on the top team in the league, the Hearst Lumberjacks. Both those games are 7 o'clock starts. The Sioux Eagles will touch down in French River to take on the Rapids at 7 p.m. Neither team has won a game so far. In the meantime, the Iroquois Falls Storm are in Espanola hoping to crumple the Paper Kings. That game is at 7:30. To the OHL, and the Sioux Greyhounds were in Barrie last night. The Hounds were down 4-2 going into the third period. They would tie things up midway through the last frame. Nothing got decided in overtime, so this one went to a shootout. Ryan Kaczynski finds the back of the net for the Hounds. The Sioux takes this one 5-4. The Greyhounds are back in action tonight in Brampton to take on the Steelheads at 7 o'clock. Sudbury Wolves have only 1 point on the season and have not won a game in 5 straight. They will be looking to take a bite out of the troops as they play host to the North Bay Battalion. Both games start at 7 p.m. or slightly thereafter. Our first community close-up comes to us from Sudbury. The Abya Yala Latin American Film Festival is underway right now. Organizers say the Living Land is a 3-day celebration of cinema, culture, and community. The festival is taking place at Indie Cinema in Sudbury. To Thessalon, where the Algoma Manor Charitable Association is holding its second community fall fair tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. There will be vendors, face painting animals, kids games, and a bake sale. Proceeds from the event will support activities and programs at the Algoma Manor Nursing Home. Let's go north of Sault Ste. Marie to Batchewana. Linda Levasseur sent us this picture. She says nothing better than relaxing around a nice hot fire. Fantastic end to a beautiful, hot, sunny day. Thanks, Linda. And there's more news for the north coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.